K-cars, loosely translated to light automobile. They are JDM-specific cars that adhere to strict size and displacement rules. They're designed to fall into cheap running costs so that millions of the urban Japanese population have their own form of mobility. There has been some greats to spawn from these regulations, the big hitters being Honda, Suzuki and Daihatsu. Yet we never really got these directly in the UK, which is quite a shame. There is, however, a loophole. Daihatsu made an attempt at selling a few K-size cars right here at home. The Copen was probably the most memorable UK DM import, but there's one that's been sitting under our noses the whole time. Welcome to the Daihatsu Charade. Known as the L251, these were sold all over. You could get them in Australia for Christ's sake, but they were called the Mira, the Quarry, and over here, the Charade. You'd be forgiven if you forgot that these were even sold here. Very few remain, and very few were even bought in the first place. But I've bought one. It's done 32,000 miles, it's an automatic, and I just quite like it. Now, let's not get confused. This is not a K car. The dimensions are all there, but it doesn't have the 660cc engine. Instead, it has a 1 litre, 12 valve, double overhead cam, 3-cylinder. And that's where the L251 part comes into play. See, in Japan this is an L250 chassis car with a 0.6 litre, but that extra 1 on the end bumps it up to a dizzying 989cc. And if you got the L260, you were special. You had 4-wheel drive. These cars were built on an absolute shoestring. Just 7,600 quid would have got you one of these brand new in the UK. It was one of Britain's cheapest cars, and you can quite comfortably tell. I mean, everything can sort of fit in your hand. It's cute, but also cheap. And that's what I quite like about it. And while not many others in Great Britain got the cheap and cheerful nature, Malaysia did. The L250 was sold there for a further 8 years as the Perodua Viva, although I'm not entirely sure how they got away with that one. I'm not a tall man, but this car I can cover in about 2 strides. Ugh. So why did I buy one of these? Well, I've always just sort of fancied one. I don't know why, but every time I see one driven by a 90-year-old woman, they kind of look a bit endearing. So when this 32,000 mile example came up and was offered to me, I couldn't resist. You might have to bear with me on this one a little bit, but let me show you around my almost K car. Right, well you can see we've got no rear hubcap, so that's going to be the first fix. But before we do that, I want to get these wheels sort of looking a bit nicer. They're a bit rusty at the minute, so we'll give those a lick of paint. But the other 3 are there, so I just had to buy one and it was 25 quid, so that's coming in the post. One thing I absolutely love about it is this 11-inch wiper blade. That has got to be one of the shortest wiper blades you'll ever see in your life. It's absolutely useless as well. You may as well have just had one long one, but I like it. And that's the thing. Everything on this car doesn't really make much sense, but you can tell that somewhere at Daihatsu, someone was thinking about fun. Really, really good condition actually. There's a few little scuffs on that corner of the bumper there, but other than that, this thing is immaculate really. It's really not had a hard life, this car, and I think barely touched over 30 miles an hour. Tyres are good. Again, we'll sort out the rusty wheel on this side and on that back one. But yeah, just such weird dimensions. It's tall and fairly angular at the back, but at the front it sort of squishes right down. Everything was designed with a ruler as well on this car. There's no real curves to it. It's such a weird one. It looks like it was made in the 90s and then they just left it on the drawing board for 3 or 4 years and then eventually they put it into production. It's also just totally slab-sided. I wouldn't want to be in the wind in this too much because I think you would maybe blow over. They did manage to squeeze 5 doors into these. You could get them as a 3-door. I would have actually preferred a 3-door. I think they look even sillier, but the 5-door is still pretty daft looking. This is the thing with this car, you can grab it all by about this much. Even the tyres, I can grab with my hand. It's ridiculous how small they are. 155s, I think. Let's have a look in the boot. 2 keys with it, by the way. Look at that. Not a copious amount. I love this. Exposed screw heads just everywhere on a body-coloured finish. I mean, that's as cheap as you're ever going to get. It's just like something you make a oven tray out of. But this is the thing, just clever weight saving, clever engineering, but accidental. It wasn't trying to be some sort of ultra lightweight car. It was just built like that, and that's how they built it. One singular strap for the parcel shelf, one singular boot strut as well. So less to go wrong. In here as well, we have the original spare, painted, I may add. Everything in here is so solid, and I can't wait to sort of clean it up and get it looking really nice, because underneath a bit of grime is virtually a brand new car. This is the EL model. I think that was pretty high up because I've got aircon and electric mirrors. Now, Greenway sticker, that just looks a bit daft, but then you realise that it is actually the supplying dealer. So that'll be staying on because that's quite a nice little original feature. Greenway Motors Daihatsu, one of very few Daihatsu dealers in the country, really. Now, this was a bit of a nightmare. This, if anyone knows the Daihatsus, is operated by pushing a little lever down in the centre console, and if you pull it up, it opens the boot. But when you pushed it down, it wouldn't do anything. So when I first bought the car, the owner gave me a bit of card to sort of pop the fuel flap out of. And I decided that's not good enough, I'm going to fix it. But to do that, I had to take half the interior out, which was a bit of a nightmare. But we got there in the end, and I now have, check this out, a working fuel filler cap. Very good. Now, of course, we've touched on this a little bit in the past, but Japanese cars and English climate don't go very well together. They love to rust. But this one, as you can clearly see, not a speck of rust on it. It is immaculate, really. Moving to the front, this is where this car gets interesting. It's such a tiny door pocket. I mean, you genuinely can't fit anything in that. Maybe a piece of paper. Tiny, tiny glove box. But everything sort of just works. It's no frills. But yeah, aircon, ice cold, little tiny ashtray, and 2 cup holders. Look at that. Yeah. All the switches are just so rudimentary and kind of as you'd expect. I'd love to know what these are sort of stolen off. But yeah, really not a lot to it. Never smoked in, look at that. That is as clean as you're gonna get. The radio doesn't work currently. I'm gonna have to probably take that out and have a fiddle with that. But to do that, you've got to have specific Clarion keys to remove the radio. So they're on order. This one's the 4-speed automatic, so it's not quite as good for fuel economy, but it's probably a little bit better to drive. I've heard that the manuals were a bit sloppy and a bit sort of old school feeling. So I'm quite glad that it's an auto, and ultimately it does help it sell better. A 32,000 mile automatic, that's what people are after. To the driver's section now. Wow, look at that. Again, stupidly small door card. And every door is just so thin. It's brilliant. I mean, tinny and basic, but brilliant. All your switches are down here. This is sort of just a plug and play panel where they probably blanked this off. There was options for 4 electric windows back there, so clearly not top spec, but not bad either. Electric mirrors in 2006, not bad. Now, the thing I love about this car, and the thing that sort of reminds you that they did put a bit of charm and character in it, is the fact that it says "Hello Happy" when you turn it on, which I just think's amazing. And then when you turn it off, it says "See you goodbye," but it's spelt wrong because it's good-by, not even BYE. Should we have a look under the bonnet? Check out the 1 litre, 12 valve, 3-cylinder. You get a right little 3-cylinder thrum from it. It's brilliant. Twin cam. That engine is probably about the size of an A4 piece of paper. The airbox is probably the biggest thing on it. The battery, again, I could just about squeeze it into my hand. Just a cute little engine. And actually, not entirely slow. It's no speed machine, but nippy enough to sort of get you around town, which is where this car's sort of at home, really. which is exactly why I took it to the city centre for a spin. So then, the little Charade. What's it like to drive? Well, straight away, you kind of notice how big it feels inside. It's a bit of a TARDIS. You'd expect to get in this and feel absolutely cramped and so vulnerable on the road, but actually, you don't feel that at all. It's an excellent bit of packaging. You actually feel like you're in a sensible sized car, but you're not, obviously. But I think part of that is because everything in here is so thin. It's just kind of like, there's the door. There's nothing intruding inside to make you feel more cramped. Now, don't get me wrong, it still feels small, but this helps with the drive of it. It's excellent to place on the road. It's exactly how you'd expect a K car to handle, but with a little bit more power, which just makes sense, really. It's ideal for UK roads. We're just around the city now, and this thing is excellent for zipping round. Let me demonstrate. Look at that, I could just fit through any gap, anywhere. It's so agile, and this street is narrow. I'd be clenching my bum in anything other than this. But in this, I can just freely go down it. Honestly, buy a K car. And this is probably the cheapest form of getting into K car ownership. You can get one of these for under £1,000. For a cheap little runaround about the city like here, what more could you need? The gearbox is no nonsense and old school. It's quintessentially OAP, but something about that just adds to the experience. It's a little bit loud on motorways, and dynamically it rolls around a bit, of course. It's on skinny 155 tyres and is as slab-sided as an Arctic truck, but for going no more than 30 miles an hour, round 90-degree turns, like this one, it's just a laugh. It's one of those cars where you really don't need to go fast to have fun in it. And we've got less and less of those these days, so long live the Charade. I do truly think that we've underestimated this car. Yes, it's probably the ideal transport for your nan, but it's actually quite a bit of fun. And it's a shame that Daihatsu have gone the way they have, because who knows what they'd be making now. I think they'd still be making small cars, because they were really clever at it. But nobody quite got the magic. It's probably been a while since you last saw a Daihatsu. If you didn't know, they pulled out of the European market in 2013. They never quite broke into the mainstream enough to feel like a serious brand, but they weren't exotic or exciting enough to capture the hearts of us enthusiasts. And as a result, these economy cars with dwindling dealer networks became a paperweight to many owners. We're too wasteful in this country. People just like to scrap things the moment they hit a certain age. And this car is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And this is the thing, dealers are also terrible for this. They won't sell you cars like this half the time. So I feel obliged to. I think we'd all be a bit happier if we drove around in K cars. And this, as it greets you and says hello happy, is exactly what I mean by that. The Charade has already brought me joy, but to give the next owner even more happiness, we need to do it up so it'll finally resemble a 32,000 mile car. Tune in next time to see the L251 getting some love. Until then, from both of us, see you goodbye.